Hello, my dear friends. Have you ever wondered if there is a real secret to staying vibrant, joyful, and full of life, even after 70? I promise you, it is not about chasing after youth or pretending to be someone you're not. It is about embracing who you are right here and right now and finding new ways to light up your days. Today, I'm going to share 12 simple but powerful habits that I, and many inspiring women I know, live by every single day. Some of these might surprise you, some might feel like a warm hug, but every single one is a reminder that your best days are not behind you. They are still ahead. If you believe that age is just a number and life still has beautiful moments waiting for you, you are exactly where you need to be. Stick around until the end, and you might just find a little spark to carry into your tomorrow. And before we dive in, take a second to hit the like button if you believe in living fully at every age, and share one thing in the comments that made you smile today. I would love to hear from you. Now let us get started. 1. Start your day with a powerful question. Most people tell you to start your day by listing what you are grateful for, and that is wonderful. But let's take it one step further. Every morning before your feet even touch the floor, I want you to ask yourself one simple question. What beautiful surprise is waiting for me today? When you start your morning with curiosity instead of routine, you set the tone for your whole day. You teach your mind to look for joy, to expect good things, even in small ways. It is not about ignoring the hard stuff. It is about training your heart to stay open. I learned this from a dear friend, Eleanor. She is 82 now, and every single morning she wakes up, stretches her arms, smiles, and asks that very question. And you know what? Somehow, her days always seem a little lighter, a little brighter, and a little more full of wonder. So tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you start worrying about your to-do list, pause, breathe in, smile, and ask yourself, what beautiful surprise is waiting for me today? You just might find more magic than you ever expected. 2. Create a sacred morning moment. Before the noise of the day rushes in, give yourself the gift of a few quiet minutes, not scrolling through the news, not checking your emails, just you, the morning light, and a little peace. Sit by a window, sip your tea slowly, stretch your arms to the ceiling, listen to the silence. It does not have to be anything fancy, it just has to be yours. A few years ago, I started this simple habit. Every morning, I sit in my favorite chair, the one that overlooks the backyard. Sometimes I watch the birds fluttering about. Sometimes I just close my eyes and breathe in the day. And in those moments, I find a kind of peace that carries me through whatever comes next. We spend so much time caring for others, answering calls, solving problems. But in the first few minutes of the day, you deserve to care for yourself first. You deserve a world that belongs to you alone, even if it is just for 10 minutes. So tomorrow morning, before the world asks anything of you, give yourself that moment. You will be amazed at how different the whole day feels. 3. Take a simple walk around your garden. You do not need a big adventure to feel alive. Sometimes the smallest step outside can be the biggest gift you give yourself. Step onto your porch, walk down your driveway, stroll slowly through your garden, even if it is just a few potted plants by the window. Feel the fresh air touch your face. Notice the soft sway of the trees, the way the light dances on the leaves. Breathe it in. Let the world remind you that you are part of something beautiful and ever-changing. I remember my friend Mary, who planted her very first rose bush at 75. She used to say, "Watching those roses bloom made me feel like I was blooming too." Now her garden is a little paradise, and she tends it with the same tenderness she shows herself. Even if you cannot walk far, even if all you do is sit outside with a cup of tea, let yourself connect to the living, breathing world around you. The sun on your skin, the sound of a bird nearby, the scent of fresh grass. These tiny gifts are always waiting for you. You do not have to chase happiness. Sometimes it is growing quietly right in your own backyard. 5. Dance to your favorite song. When was the last time you danced just because you felt like it? Not for exercise, not for anyone else, just for the pure joy of moving your body to music you love. Put on a song that makes your heart feel light. It does not matter if you are standing, sitting, or even just tapping your fingers to the beat. The point is not how you move. It is that you let yourself move. One of my favorite memories is of my grandmother, who used to sway around the kitchen to old jazz records. She would hum along, spin slowly in her slippers, and laugh if she bumped into a chair. Watching her, you could tell she was not thinking about her age or her worries. She was simply living in that moment of joy. Music has a way of reaching the parts of us that words cannot. It lifts us, reminds us we are still vibrant, still free. And when you move, even just a little, you remind yourself that you are still here, alive, beautiful, and full of spirit. So today, find your song. Turn it up a little louder than usual and let yourself dance, not because you have to, but because you can. 5. One call, one letter, one smile. Every day, find one small way to reach out. It could be a quick phone call to a friend, a handwritten note to someone you miss, or even just a warm smile to a neighbor passing by. Connection does not have to be complicated. Sometimes the simplest gestures leave the deepest mark. I remember one woman I met who started writing short letters to old friends she had not spoken to in years. She told me she was nervous at first. What if they had moved on? What if they did not remember her? But you know what happened? Every single letter she sent out brought one back. Stories, laughter, even a few happy tears. Those letters reconnected her to parts of her life she thought were long gone. Sometimes we think it takes grand gestures to feel close to others. It does not. A simple thinking of you text, a postcard with a pretty picture, a kind word to the person bagging your groceries. Each small connection is a thread, and when you weave enough of them together, you build a net strong enough to catch you on even the loneliest days. So today, reach out. Call someone. Write a few lines. Smile first. You never know whose day you might be saving, maybe even your own. 6. Try what you have always feared. There's something incredibly powerful about trying something new, especially something that once made you nervous. It does not have to be perfect. It does not even have to be good. The magic is in the trying. Maybe you have always wanted to paint but thought you were not artistic enough. Maybe you have dreamed of baking a fancy cake but worried you would mess it up. Maybe you have wanted to learn a new language, even just a few words. Now is the perfect time. One woman I know, Carol, spent her whole life saying she could not draw a straight line. At 78, she bought a set of watercolor paints on a whim. Her first paintings were messy and wild, and absolutely beautiful. She said learning something new made her feel like a beginner again, and that feeling was worth more than anything she could have created. The truth is, being bad at something new is a kind of freedom. It is a reminder that you are still growing, still curious, still brave enough to try. So today, think of one thing you have always wanted to do but felt a little afraid of, and take the first small step toward it. Because your 70s, 80s, and beyond are not the end of your story. They are just another beginning. 7. Eat like you love yourself. Eating well is not about strict diets or cutting out everything you love. It is about treating your body with the same tenderness you would offer someone you deeply care for. Imagine if you were feeding a child you adored. You would want them to have colorful fruits, fresh vegetables, hearty grains, and plenty of water. You would also slip them a little treat now and then, because joy matters too. That is exactly how you should nourish yourself. After years of trying every diet in the book, I finally realized that true nourishment feels good. It does not punish you. Now my plate is full of colors, bright berries, leafy greens, golden roasted vegetables, and yes, a piece of chocolate after dinner, savored slowly, without guilt. Food is not just fuel. It is a celebration of life, a way to say thank you to the body that carries you through each day. When you eat like you love yourself, you are not just feeding your body. You are feeding your spirit too. So today, when you sit down for a meal, pause for a moment. Look at your plate. Smile. And remember, you deserve every bit of care and goodness you give yourself. 8. 1 kindness a week. Kindness does not have to be a grand gesture. In fact, the smallest acts often leave the deepest marks. But here's the truth. You do not have to pressure yourself to do something kind every single day. One genuine act of kindness each week is enough to change your life and someone else's. Maybe it is baking cookies for a neighbor who lives alone. Maybe it is leaving a kind note on someone's doorstep. Maybe it is simply telling a friend how much they mean to you. I once knew a woman who, every Sunday, picked one person to surprise. Sometimes it was a little bouquet of flowers. Sometimes it was just a handwritten thank you card. She told me it made her weeks feel fuller, richer, and far more connected to the world around her. Kindness does not just lift others, it lifts you too. It reminds you that even the smallest light can make the dark feel less heavy. So this week, think of one person you could reach out to, one gentle kindness you could offer, and watch how it softens not just their day, but yours. 9. Share one funny story. Daily, laughter is not just medicine for the soul. It is a bridge that connects us to each other, no matter how far apart we feel. And the best part? You do not have to be a comedian to spread a little joy. All you need is a funny memory, a silly mistake, or a moment that made you chuckle. Every day, try to share one funny story with someone, a grandchild, a neighbor, even a cashier at the store. It could be the time you baked a cake and forgot the sugar, or the time you wore mismatched shoes all afternoon without realizing it. These little stories do more than make people laugh. They make them feel closer to you, like they are part of your world. I have a dear friend, Margaret, who tells the best small disaster stories. Every time she shares one, her whole face lights up, and you cannot help but laugh along. She says, "If you can laugh at yourself, you will never run out of good stories." When you make someone laugh, even for just a moment, you lift their spirit and your own. So today, think back. What little moment made you laugh recently? Share it. And watch how the smiles start to spread. 10. Spot one beautiful thing. Every single day there is something beautiful happening around you. It might not shout for your attention. It might not be obvious at first glance. But if you pause, if you really look, you will see it. Maybe it is the way the morning sun slips through the curtains, turning the floor into a pool of gold. Maybe it is the slow stretch of a cat waking from its nap, or the way the leaves outside shimmer like tiny green lanterns in the breeze. Maybe it is the soft wrinkle of laughter around the eyes of a stranger passing by. When we grow older, it becomes easy to think that life's most beautiful moments are behind us. But beauty is stubborn. It refuses to fade away. It changes shape. It hides in smaller places, but it is still here, waiting to be found. I knew a woman, Clara, who made a habit of writing down just one beautiful thing every day. At first, she struggled. She thought beauty meant big things, weddings, vacations, grand adventures. But as the days passed, she began to notice smaller wonders. The click of her knitting needles, the sudden scent of jasmine on an afternoon walk, the sound of her granddaughter's voice on the phone, high and full of excitement. Her list grew longer, and so did her happiness. You see, when you start looking for beauty, you start teaching your heart that the world is still good. You start telling yourself, there is still wonder here, and it is still mine to enjoy. So tomorrow, when you step outside or sit quietly with your tea or even wash the dishes, ask yourself, what beautiful thing will I see today? And when you find it, because you will, pause for a moment. Let it fill you up. Because even on the hardest days, beauty still waits for those who are willing to see. 11th, embrace imperfections. Somewhere along the way, many of us started believing that to be proud of ourselves, we had to be perfect. That if we made mistakes, forgot things, needed help, or changed our minds, we were somehow less. But here is the truth. The real, shining, beautiful truth. Your imperfections are not your weaknesses. They are the proof that you have lived. The wrinkles on your hands, they tell the story of decades spent holding, creating, comforting, building. The memories you sometimes misplace, they are a reminder of a life rich with so many moments that it is impossible to hold them all at once. The times you needed to start over, they show your strength, your resilience, your stubborn, beautiful refusal to give up. I once sat with a dear friend, Joan, who was feeling discouraged because she could no longer do all the things she used to. She looked at her trembling hands and sighed, "I feel like I am fading." I took her hands in mine and said, "You are not fading. You are unfolding." You see, at every age, there is a new kind of beauty that only comes with time. It is softer. It is wiser. It is more forgiving. When you stop fighting your imperfections, you make space for peace. When you look at yourself, all your lines, your scars, your changes, and say, "I love you exactly as you are," you reclaim the joy that perfection could never offer you. So today, if you catch yourself criticizing your reflection or feeling frustrated because you move slower or need help, pause. Put your hand over your heart and remember, you are not broken. You are becoming. And you are more than enough. 12. Thank yourself before sleeping. As the day winds down and the world grows quieter, give yourself one last gift before you close your eyes. Not a list of regrets, not a reel of things you wish you had done better, but a simple, tender thank you. Sit on the edge of your bed or lie back against your pillows. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel your chest rise and fall. And in that stillness, speak gently to yourself, maybe out loud, maybe only in your heart. Thank yourself for showing up today, for getting out of bed when it would have been easier to stay curled up, for making breakfast, for calling a friend, for smiling at a stranger even when you were tired. Thank yourself for the small kindnesses no one else saw, the way you held your patience, the way you chose hope instead of bitterness. I started this habit years ago on a night when everything felt heavy. I sat in the dark, feeling like I had failed, again, to be the person I wanted to be. And in a moment of exhaustion, I whispered, "Thank you for trying." It felt strange at first, like offering forgiveness to someone else, but then it felt right. It felt necessary. Since then, it has become my favorite part of the day. No matter how messy or imperfect the day was, I always find something to honor. Some days it is a big triumph. Other days it is simply this: I made it through. Because the truth is, life is not made of perfect days. It is made of days where you keep showing up even when it is hard. It is made of quiet victories, invisible strength, and silent resilience. So tonight, when the world asks nothing more of you, when the sky stretches dark and deep outside your window, pause. Place your hand softly over your heart. Close your eyes and whisper to yourself, "Thank you. Thank you for living this day the best way you knew how." That gratitude, tender, real, and entirely yours, will wrap around you like a soft blanket, and you will sleep not in judgment, but in peace. You deserve that peace. You always have. So here we are, dear friend, at the end of our time together today. And maybe, just maybe, you are feeling a little lighter than when we first began. Maybe you are realizing that happiness was never about doing more or being more. It was about noticing the beauty already woven through your days. It was about giving yourself permission to dance a little offbeat, to laugh a little louder, to forgive yourself a little faster. It was about remembering that even now, especially now, you are still growing, still blooming, still becoming. If there is one thing I hope you carry with you after this video, it is this: your best days are not behind you. They are waiting quietly in front of you, ready to be lived. All it takes is a willing heart, an open mind, and the tiniest step forward. So here's my little challenge for you, because change does not happen all at once. It happens one small, brave choice at a time. Pick just one habit we talked about today. Maybe it is starting your morning with a question. Maybe it is spotting one beautiful thing. Maybe it is thanking yourself before you sleep tonight. Whatever it is, make it yours. Tuck it gently into your day. Let it grow roots, and I promise you, life will start to feel just a little bit softer, a little bit sweeter, a little bit more like home. If this video touched you, even in the smallest way, I would be honored if you would take a moment to click that like button. It helps more beautiful souls like you find their way here. And if you would like to share something that brought you joy today, a moment, a memory, a smile, leave it in the comments below. I read every single one. They are little sparks of light in my day. And of course, if you want more stories, more wisdom, more gentle reminders that you are never alone on this journey, make sure to subscribe. There is always room for you here. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, stay beautifully, wildly alive. The best is still yet to come, and I, for one, cannot wait to see what you do with it.